Hello and welcome. Today's lesson we are going to deal with Google Docs and how to access our information and some of the basics that I can show you regarding using Google Docs. The first thing we need to know is Google just updated and changed some things around, which it does often, making their products better, and now they are referring to it as Google Drive. So it's basically your cloud area for all your documents and video, which is really cool, and some of the other things that you can do within Google Drive. So when you log in and you open up your Google Drive, what you have is a formatted set of views here that you can go as a list view or some kind of previews. You see some of my student videos and some things that we've done, surveys and other assignments. Or you can go back to list views and then you can look at the icons that tell you it's a form, or this is a video, or this is a Microsoft Word document that was uploaded, or a PDF, and so on. So it gives you some information, who the owner is in case you were collaborating or sharing it with others. Let's see down here, these are all me, but I'll show you what it looks like when a student shares something with you. The last date it was modified. And then if you wanted to sort it specifically by the date, by a title, who edited it last. The other cool thing is if I want to go up here and just find all my videos, I can go up to videos and it'll open up all the things that has video in it. Or if I go to MP4, which is usually what I upload, anything that has an MP4 next to it, which is, these are all videos that you can see. So it's pretty neat from that standpoint. You can change some of the settings. We don't really need to worry about that right now. You can deal with that a little bit later as we get more familiar with it. But the key here is we're going to look at my drive. Here's folders that I've created to help organize my drive. Now every time you create a document within your Google Drive, it puts it in the master list of things here. You can organize it by creating folders. When you come over here and you want to create a new folder, you can come right up at the top and say create, and we can create a word processing document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a Google form, which I'll be doing some videos on, which is a really cool tool to use, a drawing, or a folder. And as you, depending on if you're using this with an organization with Google Apps, or if you're using it as a personal thing, you can always add more extensions and apps on through your Google Chrome account and your Google account. But we're going to create a folder as a demo, and I'm just going to say this is a demo folder and click create. And you can see it shows up right here. If I click on it, you'll see there's nothing in it. If I go back to my drive, you'll see all my documents. And this was the last thing I did within my drive, so it puts it right up at the top because I've got it sorted by the last modified. So if I come over here and I want to right click on the folder itself, I can create a document automatically, or all the choices within that folder. So I could create a folder within the folder, or I could share this entire folder with someone. So say I've created a bunch of lessons for a chapter or a unit, and I want to share that with the other teachers in my building or in my district. I could do that really quickly and easily. I could add a star on it if it's maybe something that we're working on or an ongoing project. I could organize some things, or I can change the color and say I want to make this one yellow since it's my demo folder. Then you see the folder gets a little yellow next to it. And you can go through here and open the folder, download the folder if you want to bring it, download it off the cloud and onto your machine itself with all your materials, or onto a backup drive. So that's our first step, creating some folders to organize it. If I go back to my drive and say, you know what, I want to move some of these things, so I can click on some examples here. I'll just take those, and I want to move those. I can just highlight them and drag them right over to the folder is one way. And when I do that, boom, they're off that list, but then I always know where they're at. Or I can click on them and go over here to the more and organize, and I can move it into the folder this way and apply changes. So the way it is set up. Now if I come over to the demo folder, you'll see those are all those files. So it lets you clean things up so you don't have a bunch of files that you're unsure what it goes with or what you're doing with it. As you can see, some of these I have shared after, which means I've shared these events or these documents with others. So that's the real basic starting point here. And if I want to create a document, basically a word processor, if I click create and document, here we go. You can see it's a straightforward word processor. I can type, this is an example, and I can go through here and have all the file, edit, view, all of these things, which we can get more in depth as we get into Google Docs. I can have my formatting tools, and then I can share it. But this is the key, and this is why I love using the Google Docs and Google Drive with my students. It automatically saves everything. So no matter what we do, it'll tell you all changes are saved. As long as you're hooked up to the internet, it's going to save it. You can have it so it works offline as well, but the key here is that we're in the cloud. So if I wanted to share this, which I'll get into a little bit later, I could do so. And then we come over here, here's how we can change the title, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Or we can click that little arrow and it takes us back. And you'll see it's untitled, so it'll show up in my list. This is the last thing I edited, and it's an untitled document. So I can go over here and I can create a presentation the same way. You can see it comes up with a typical format like most presentation software. You can choose some themes. We'll go with light gradient. Click OK. It figures it out and creates your thing, and do the same thing. This is a test, and all the editing choices are here. You can change how you arrange things, all the slides, everything you can think of. You can look at your folders. You can star this as one of your projects that you're working on. If you wanted to watch the presentation, you can click Start Presentation. It goes full screen. You can go through the presentation itself, or you can close it down and go back to where you're working. So we're going to go back, and that's the basics. As we go through this a little bit more, we'll be adding some features and specifics about the individual choices that you have, but this is your intro screen here to your Google Drive, and then you can do all your work over here from Create. And if you wanted to upload something, you can click Upload a File or a Folder. That's how I've gotten some of these Microsoft Word documents and these PDFs, where I've just uploaded those and they automatically save it, so I have access to them in the cloud. Hope this helps. Hope this was a good introduction, and check back for more updates.